Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to Wilde Reads. My name is Dave. Today I want to talk to you about a new book, and a book that's being published this week as this video comes out. This book is due out on Thursday, 3rd of May here in the UK. It will come as no surprise to those of you that have been following this channel for a little while. You will know how much I adored a book called The Keeper of Lost Things that came out last year. I love this book so much that I handed it my book of the year for last year. It was written by Ruth Hogan. This was her debut book, but Ruth Hogan is back with her new book, her second novel, and this one is called The Wisdom of Sally Red Shoes. This, I read it in proof edition, and I've had the proof edition since late last year. I think December last year I received it. I didn't read it straight away for a couple of reasons that I'll get to in a moment. This is the final retail edition, and it's got this absolutely wonderful cover. You'll remember from the Keeper of Lost Things cover that the Two Roads art department have done a fantastic job again, because Keeper of Lost Things looked like this, and the new one, Sally Red Shoes, looks like this. It's an absolutely wonderful cover, as I'm sure you'll agree. It looks absolutely beautiful. It took me a while to get round to reading the proof. I was really nervous. I was really nervous because I loved Keeper so much. I didn't want it to be a flash in the pan, and I didn't want to get to the second book and then not like it and then think, oh, maybe I don't like this author as much as I hoped I would. I needn't worry. This book is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I absolutely loved it. It's every bit as good, if not better, than Keeper of Lost Things. Marsha's life has changed. Once a spirited, independent woman with a rebellious streak, her life has been forever changed by a tragic event 12 years ago. Unable to let go of her grief, she finds solace in the silent company of the souls of her local Victorian cemetery and at the town's Lido, where she seeks refuge underwater, safe from the pain. But a chance encounter with two extraordinary women, the fabulous and wise Kitty Muriel, a convent girl turned magician's wife turned 20-something roller disco fanatic, and the mysterious Sally Red Shoes, a bag lady with a prodigious voice, opens up a new world of possibilities and the chance to start living again. But just as Marsha dares to imagine a future, the past comes roaring back. Like her best-selling debut, The Keeper of Lost Things, Ruth Hogan's second novel, introduces a cast of wonderful characters, both ordinary and charmingly eccentric, who guide us through a moving exploration of the simple human connections that make life worth living. It's such an uplifting tale. It is a lot darker than Keeper of Lost Things. It tackles a lot of issues. There's the grief of Marsha, and it is an all-consuming grief. Her life before and her life as we meet her now are completely different. She was once a very spirited and lived life to the full, but after this tragedy, the worst tragedy any human could imagine. I mean, it's, as a parent, it's an unimaginable tragedy. After that happened to her, her life really come to an end, and she spends her days trying to connect with this person she's lost. This is what I find really difficult, because I so want to tell you about different things in this book, and how the people connect, and how the story progresses. Again, I don't want to say too much about it, because I want you to discover the characters in this book for yourself, and I want you to discover the storyline yourself. It's easy to, it'll be easy for me to just roll out what this story is bit by bit, and then it will be totally spoilt for you, and you won't discover it as I discovered it. I read as little as possible before I started this book, because I wanted the chance to discover it for myself. It contains, as Keeper of Lost Things did, and this is, I think, becoming the Ruth Hogan trademark, this cast of brilliantly eccentric characters. We had Sunshine in Keeper of Lost Things, that is a character that will stay with me for, I think, forever. She was so good and so funny. The characters in this book are brilliant. Even though it's the story, for a large part of the book, the story is quite dark, but it has moments of wonderful joyousness, and there's a brilliant scene involving the most obnoxious estate agent that you will ever come across in your lives. It is a very enjoyable book. If you've read anything about Ruth Hogan, you'll know that Ruth Hogan undertook treatment for breast cancer. In the time that it took her to receive treatment for that disease, she wrote or started to write Keeper of Lost Things. She draws on the experience she had going through that treatment. So Sally Red Shoes shares another similarity with Keeper of Lost Things as well. There's a secondary story going on. There's a second narrative with a woman called Alice and her teenage son Matty. It's at the end of the book where these two stories, these two narratives collide in what can only be described as the most beautiful way. It's another stunner from Ruth Hogan. I didn't think that I would enjoy it. I feared that I wouldn't enjoy it as much as Keeper of Lost Things, but I actually did. I think it's brilliant. I heartily recommend that you go and grab yourself a copy. There's something wonderfully uplifting about these books that just make you, sometimes they just make you glad to be alive, and they are wonderfully uplifting and enriching. These stories enrich our lives. If you liked The Keeper of Lost Things, you will love this book. If you like an uplifting, enriching, beautifully told story, you will love this book. But I'm not going to say any more about it now because I want you to discover it for yourself. So that's The Wisdom of Sally Red Shoes, published by Two Roads, written by Ruth Hogan, and it's out this Thursday, the 3rd of May.